If you want to get rich while your friends are still complaining about money on Twitter, then you need to stop doing what everyone else is doing. Sounds obvious? Well, 99% of people completely ignore this. I'm Mr. Coin, and over the past 8 years, I've studied hundreds of millionaires, billionaires, and that cousin who's always asking to borrow money, and I discovered that the difference between them isn't luck, IQ, or which cryptocurrency they bought. It's 7 specific decisions that most people get wrong every single day. And the worst part, you're probably making at least 3 of these mistakes right now without even realizing it. So stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why you work so hard but stay broke. And hit that like button to help YouTube's algorithm understand that financial education is more important than dancing videos. Mistake number 1, working only for a paycheck. Imagine 2 friends. Let's call them John and Mike. John accepts a corporate job making $60,000 per year. Nice life, right? Pays the bills, goes to Cheesecake Factory on his birthday. Everyone thinks he's doing great. Mike accepts $30,000 per year at a startup where he learns digital marketing, online sales, and gets 2% equity in the company. For the first 2 years, John is living better. Mike can barely pay rent. Mike's family is like, "Son, are you okay? Do you need money?" But in year 3, the curve flips. Mike now masters skills that the market pays $120,000 per year for. Year 5, the startup hits $10 million in revenue, and Mike's 2% equity is worth $200,000 per year in dividends. Meanwhile, John still makes $60,000, maybe $65,000 if he's lucky after 5 years of raises. The moral of the story? A salary pays your bills. Skills and equity build wealth. And here's the truth nobody tells you. The more you focus only on making money in the short term, the less money you'll have in the long term. It's a weird paradox. The most valuable skills today: copywriting, writing words that sell; video editing, like this one you're watching; paid advertising, Facebook ads, Google ads; coding, even just the basics; data analysis. And about equity, 3 ways to get it. Starting your own business, the most obvious; sweat equity, working for free in the beginning in exchange for ownership; buying equity, investing in businesses, but only if you have skills to help the company grow. Drop a comment. Are you focusing more on salary or on skills? I want to know. Mistake number 2, buying a rich lifestyle too early. You've seen those entrepreneur lifestyle videos, right? Yellow Lamborghini, Rolex on the wrist, flying first class to Miami. Looks like success, doesn't it? Spoiler, it's all fake. The painful truth is most of these people are more in debt than a medical student. Look at these numbers. 37% of Americans can't afford an unexpected $400 expense. 60% of American households can't buy a new car. But on Instagram, everyone's a successful CEO, right? But Mr. Coin, what's wrong with showing off a little bit? The problem is you can't build wealth and live like you're rich at the same time in the beginning. It's basic physics, math, logic. Person A makes $120,000 per year, spends $36,000 on car payments, $24,000 on restaurants and going out, $18,000 on designer clothes. Left over, $42,000. Person B makes the same $120,000 per year, lives on $48,000, invests $72,000 in assets like stocks, real estate, crypto. After 5 years, person A, still trying to impress strangers on Instagram, person B has $500,000 invested, generating $36,000 per year in passive income. The difference? Person B bought assets that appreciate. Person A bought liabilities that depreciate. Car loses 20% of value in the first year. Designer clothes lose 80% when you try to resell. $200 dinner literally turns into, well, you know. But stocks, real estate, Bitcoin, bought during a dip, they grow while you sleep. Look, I'm not saying live like a monk. After you build wealth, buy the Lamborghini if you want. Buy 3. But in the early years, live below your means, be invisible, be patient. Because when you finally get rich for real, you won't need to prove anything to anyone. Mistake number 3, trying to do everything alone. Are you good at what you do? Great. But here's a brutal truth. You alone will never beat a well-coordinated team. Never. Elon Musk, the lone genius, right? Wrong. He was part of what they now call the PayPal Mafia, a group of nerds who sold PayPal for $1.5 billion in 2002. After that sale, they spread out and created YouTube, Chad Hurley and Steve Chen, LinkedIn, Reid Hoffman, Yelp, Jeremy Stoppelman, SpaceX, Elon Musk, Tesla, also Elon, with help from, you guessed it, the Mafia. They invest in each other, give advice, open doors.
Okay, Mr. Coin, but I don't know any PayPal Mafia billionaires. You don't need to. You just need to understand one concept: leverage. You can have leverage from people, hiring or partnering, code, software working 24/7 for you, content, videos, writing, courses that generate income while you sleep, capital, money working for you in the financial market. Real example, a freelance designer I know was making $8,000 per month, working 60 hours per week. Know what he did? Hired 2 junior designers for $3,000 each, trained them for 2 months, passed 70% of projects to them, now makes $20,000 per month, working 30 hours. He used people leverage. And here's a golden tip. Older business owners, 50 plus, are desperate for young people who understand technology. They don't know how to use automation tools, digital marketing, AI for productivity, modern management systems. If you learn these things and offer this service, you are going to make a lot of money. Hit that subscribe button because I'm making a complete video on how to make $5,000 to $10,000 per month helping old school companies go digital. Stay tuned. Mistake number 4, having too many inputs. Is your head like this right now? One guru says do drop shipping. Another says invest in stocks. Your dad says get a stable job. Your friend says become a YouTuber. Your cousin says get into crypto. It's guaranteed. And you, frozen, do nothing. This has a name: analysis paralysis. When you have too many inputs, opinions, advice, strategies, your brain goes into cognitive overload mode. It's like having 47 tabs open in Chrome. Everything slows down. Nothing works right. The solution? Step 1, define your final destination. Doesn't need to be specific like, I want to make exactly $437,238.12. Can be something like, I want financial freedom in 10 years. I want $50,000 per month in passive income. I want to travel the world working remotely. Step 2, work backwards. If you want $50,000 per month in passive income, how much do you need invested? Considering 8% per year conservative, $7.5 million. Holy cow, Mr. Coin, $7.5 million? Impossible. Hold on. Now you break it into stages. Year 1 to 2, increase active income to $180,000 per year. Year 3 to 4, invest aggressively, accumulate $500,000. Year 5 to 7, with compound interest and contributions, reach $2 million. Year 8 to 10, keep scaling. See, it gets less scary when you break it down. Step 3, choose only inputs aligned with your goal. If your goal is building wealth through investing, listen to Warren Buffett, Peter Lynch, Mr. Coin obviously. Ignore Instagram coaches promising get rich in 30 days. If your goal is building an online business, study Alex Hormozi, Gary Vee, real case studies. Ignore that course on quantum holistic marketing. And a brutal tip, cut inputs from people who don't have the results you want. Your uncle who's been broke for 20 years shouldn't give you financial advice. It's simple as that. Comment below, what is your final goal? Let's share and motivate each other. Mistake number 5, being ego-driven. Ego is funny. People with giant egos usually don't even finish this video because they think they already know everything. Oh, I don't need to learn this, I'm awesome. And that's exactly why they stay poor. You know the iceberg principle? What you know about any subject is like 10% of the iceberg, the part above water. The other 90%, it's below, invisible, and it's the most important part. Egocentric person, I know everything about crypto. Buys Dogecoin at the peak, loses everything. Humble person, I know some things about crypto, but I'll study more. Learns about market cycles, technical analysis, risk management, multiplies capital. The difference? Humility to keep learning. You know what the paradox of knowledge is? The more you learn, the more you realize you don't know anything. I've studied finance for years, and every single day I discover something new that makes me think, how did I not know this before? Warren Buffett, 94 years old, billionaire, still reads 500 pages per day. Bill Gates takes thinking weeks where he only reads and studies. Elon Musk learned rocket engineering by reading books. And you think you already know enough? Signs that ego is messing you up. 1. You skip parts of educational videos because you already know. 2. You don't ask for help because it seems like weakness. 3. You don't admit when you're wrong. 4. You don't listen to advice from people more successful than you. 5. You think you'll figure it out alone. If you identified with 2 or more, Houston, we have a problem. The good news? Ego can be controlled. How? Daily practice. Assume you don't know. Every time you learn something new, ask, what else don't I know about this? This simple question will open worlds.
Mistake number 6, playing the blame game. I have 2 objects here, a magnifying glass and a mirror. Every day, you're going to choose one without even realizing it. The magnifying glass. You use it to focus on others. Oh, I didn't progress because my boss is an idiot. I didn't get rich because the system is unfair. I didn't succeed because my parents didn't give me opportunities. Look, I get it. Sometimes it really isn't your fault. The system can be unfair. Your boss can be terrible. Your parents might have been absent. But here's the brutal truth. Even if it's not your fault, it's your responsibility. The mirror. You use it to focus on yourself. What can I do differently? What skills do I need to develop? How can I change my strategy? There's a Chinese proverb I love. The man who blames others is at the beginning of the journey. The man who blames himself is halfway there. The man who blames no one has already arrived. Let me explain. Blaming others. You never grow because you're always waiting for the world to change. Blaming yourself. Better, but you're still focused on blame instead of solutions. Blaming no one, you accept reality and focus on action. Situation. You got fired. Magnifying glass mentality. My boss was terrible. The company is horrible. They don't recognize talent. Result? You get bitter, complain on Twitter, repeat the cycle at the next job. Mirror mentality. Okay, I got fired. What can I learn? Are my skills updated? Do I need to improve communication? Was my work really impeccable? Result? You improve, get a better job, or start your own business. Look, it's not easy. It's much more comfortable to blame others. But comfort doesn't generate wealth. Comfort generates mediocrity. Stanford University study, people who take total responsibility for their lives are 3.2 times more likely to achieve financial goals. Why? Because they stop waiting for permission and start taking action. If this video is making sense to you, share it with that friend who's always complaining but does nothing to change. They need to hear this. Mistake number 7, staying in your comfort zone. This is your comfort zone. Notice there are no openings. It's like a self-imposed prison. Studies show that 52% of people never leave their comfort zone, and 45% of them are afraid they'll regret it in the future. But Mr. Coin, is the comfort zone bad? Not necessarily. The problem is staying trapped in it. Let me show you how I expanded my comfort zone. Phase 1, school, 0 to 16 years old. Tiny comfort zone. Math, English, subjects I hated. Action, decided to drop everything and learn something with my hands. Became a carpenter's apprentice. Zone expands +1. Phase 2, carpentry, 16 to 20 years old. New comfort zone. Wood, tools, building. Action, started online side hustles. Learned marketing, sales. Zone expands +2. Phase 3, entrepreneurship, 20 to 30 years old. Comfortable with small businesses. Action, took out a bank loan and expanded. High risk. Zone expands +3. Phase 4, established business, 30 to 40 years old. Good life, money coming in, happy family. But restless mind. Action, started YouTube channel at 53 years old. Zero knowledge, fear of camera, fear of judgment. Zone expands +5. Every time you leave your comfort zone, 2 things happen. 1, you expand your zone. What was scary becomes normal. 2, you discover new possibilities, doors you didn't even know existed. Person who stays in comfort zone, Age 25, intern, making $30,000. Age 35, employee, making $60,000. Age 45, manager, making $100,000. Age 55, retired, worried about money. Person who constantly expands. Age 25, learning skills, making little. Age 35, own business, $300,000 per year. Age 45, multiple income sources, $1 million per year. Age 55, semi-retired, living off investments. The space outside your comfort zone is infinite, but you have to claim it for yourself. Nobody's going to do it for you. All growth happens outside the comfort zone. If you're not uncomfortable, you're not growing. Recap of the 7 mistakes keeping you broke. 1. Working only for a paycheck. 2. Buying a rich lifestyle too early. 3. Trying to do everything alone. 4. Having too many inputs without focus. 5. Being ego-driven. 6. Playing the blame game. 7. Staying in your comfort zone. How many of these are you making right now? If you made it this far, congratulations. You're already in the 1% who actually care about financial education. Now do this. 1. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Seriously, it'll make a difference in your life. 2. Comment. Which of these 7 mistakes did you identify with the most? 3. Watch the next video that will appear on screen where I teach exactly what to do every time you get money to build real wealth. And remember, information without action is just entertainment. So take everything you learned here and apply it. I'm Mr. Coin, and I'll see you in the next video.